Hey guys, it's Dragon Ball for Life here. Today, I'm going to be talking about how strong is Beerus, or how powerful Beerus is. Now, I've been saying for quite a bit in a couple of my videos that I had a couple of big projects. This was one of them. The first one was this, it was basically how strong is Beerus series. And then the second one is going to be how strong is Whis. I also have other videos, big ideas that is going to be coming up. It's going to take some time to do some research, get some images, edit it, and then get it into the system. So I'm still going to be doing that. Just first, I want to finish this. Then I want to get to the Whis one, and then I'm going to do the other ones. But I'm not going to mention what I'm going to do with those ones yet. But yeah, after this one, I'm going to be doing a video about how strong Whis is. Now, how strong is Beerus? This video, specifically, I'm going to be going through the beginning of, the anime to the end of the anime. I'm not going to use the original movie because that got retconned, and the power scaling in that movie was different than in the anime, and I'm going to try to stay away from the manga. I will mention some stuff from the manga because it does show more of character story after the anime, because the anime has been done for a while. But the thing about the manga is just the manga and the anime are two different separate sources. They have their own different continuity and different feats and statements and directions they go, but I think it's going to be fine to use it like after the Tournament Power arc with the Moral arc and the Granola arc right now. So I'm going to be using those for Beerus. It's not really that much, but yeah, let's get into it. Now, the first time we see Beerus is in the first episode of Dragon Ball Super. He starts off on this planet where they're serving him some food, and he's basically critiquing the food and talking about it. He has this dessert. He says he liked it and enjoyed it, but it was too fatty. So he says, I'm only going to take half, which he meant half the planet. So he literally taps his finger onto the table of the planet, demolishing half of the planet, which technically, if you think about it, that'll just kill all the inhabitants on the planet anyway, so he might as well just blow up the whole thing. But he destroyed half of it. Now, this is impressive for a couple of reasons. We have seen people destroy planets, which it isn't that big of a thing anymore, but it does matter about how they destroyed, because in this case, he didn't even destroy the whole planet, he destroyed half of it, which is even more impressive because this showcases that he can selectively choose the targets that he destroys. Like, in other people, I don't think any other Dragon Ball character could do that. Of, like, say, like, you had Frieza, Cell, Kid Buu, even Goku, or them try to destroy a planet, I don't think they could destroy half a planet, especially the way he did. The fact that he tapped on it and it selectively targeted half the planet to wipe out, and the other half came off unscathed perfectly, showcases crazy control of his destructive power. So that was impressive. And then we see later on Whis going to this planet where like these primitive people are on there, and they kill this dinosaur and they're taking its body and trying to eat it, and he's talking to them saying, hey, can I have the dinosaur because my lord, Lord Beerus wants to eat it. And obviously they refuse, and he's trying to discuss it with them, and then Beerus shows up. Now this is impressive because Beerus was all the way on his home planet, and Whis flew all the way throughout the universe, past galaxies, just to get to here. So probably like millions upon maybe even trillions of miles, like at least a few light years just to get here. It was probably in a different star system. He went there to try to communicate with him, and by that time it was like, I think at least a minute had passed. But when Beerus was trying, like Whis was trying to like talk to him, Beerus ended up there. So that basically meant Beerus flew all the way from his home world all the way to this planet within like less than a minute, because Whis was there for like at least at most he said he was there for 2 minutes and 20 seconds. He gave him like I think 3 minutes, but by that time Beerus didn't just leave right after he arrived. He left later, a little bit after, because Whis was already there and he was talking. So that would mean that within less than 2 minutes and 20 seconds, Beerus was able to go from his world to there, which would put him at least like hundreds probably around like hundreds of billions of times the speed of light, maybe even maybe not quintillion times the speed of light, but at least 100 billions of times the speed of light, which is impressive. And this is him just doing casually. Then he gets into a fight with the inhabitants guy. He basically transforms. He's able to casually block all of his attacks with a finger. Then he fires an energy attack, catches it with the finger, and tosses it back at him. Now this showcases how fast he is, how powerful he is, the fact that he can block these attacks with one finger. Obviously, we don't know how powerful this character is, but the fact that this character was able to take out a giant, T-Rex, the size of it, and Beerus is able to casually block his punches even in his transformed state, showcase how powerful he is. Also, the fact that he caught the energy blast, not only is it cool that he caught it and threw it back at him, but it shows the fact that he can basically, even if you fire an energy attack at him, he can control your energy attack and stop it in midair and then resend it back at you, which is a very impressive feat. And then after that, he destroys a planet. Now, like I said, destroying planets at this point in Dragon Ball is not that impressive, but it depends on how you do it. The way he did it, he destroyed the planet the most effortlessly that we've ever seen. The only other person that we've seen that had that level of, that could destroy a planet with that ease was Kid Buu. And because when Kid Buu was first fighting against, Goku Vegeta, he fired off a Ki Blast, and that would have destroyed the Earth. So a basic Ki Blast from Buu could destroy the Earth. Whereas in this one, Beerus is just dropping a tiny energy. It was like a speck of energy onto the planet, and it exploded, showcasing his, level of destructive power. And then we see later on him trying to find out about the Super Saiyan God, and it gets revealed that the Saiyans live on Earth. And he remembers that, wait, wasn't that the planet with the dinosaurs? And he wiped them out. So he said he didn't destroy the entire planet as a whole because he was trying to be a little more merciful, but he wiped out the entire species. So he can selectively wipe out an entire species without destroying the entire planet either. So he did that, and then he came out and he was like searching for the Super Saiyan God, searching for Goku and stuff, and the Elder Kai and Supreme Kai are talking about how much of a threat he is. Elder Kai mentions that he's a universal level threat, and we do see throughout this arc how much of that statement is very true, that he is a universal level threat. So he starts talking about it like he could annihilate the universe or something like that. I forgot the exact quoting, but he's like he can easily wipe out the universe if he wanted to and stuff, and he and all that stuff. He also mentions that within. So yeah, he said that, and then he's going to what's the thing called? He goes to King Kai's planet to fight Goku, and King Kai, the Elder Supreme Kai tells Shin, he tells him Beerus within half a day was able to destroy 8.5 planets. So yeah, Beerus is not only that fast, but he's also that powerful. The fact that he can destroy 8.5 planets in just half a day showcases how dangerously powerful he is. And then he gets there, he gets into a fight with Goku. Goku goes from Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. Those other forms didn't really matter. There wasn't really much he did in those. He was just dodging it casually. But then when he goes to Super Saiyan 3, that's when it gets more intense, because now he's starting to take him a little more serious. And Goku starts throwing punches, and he's blocking it still with one hand, casually. He's not really doing any damage. Then Goku fires a Kamehameha at him, and he blocks it with a single finger. Does no damage, showcasing an insane level of power. Well, I'll get on to that a little bit later. After that, he goes up to Goku's face, flicks him in the face, sends him flying. He gets right behind Goku and then presses down his shoulder, taking him out with 2 hits. And then that ended Goku right there, and he left. Now, this is very impressive for a couple of reasons. One, Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a high level of power. Now, how powerful is Super Saiyan 3 Goku? Well, Cell was stated to have enough power to destroy the solar system, and that wasn't even his full power, because he said at that time, and once when he started getting the Ki Clash would go on, he was pumping in even more power. So that means he had even more than enough power to destroy the solar system. And then when we get to the Buu Saga, they would be at least multi-solar system level. Some people put them galaxy level. I think that's a little bit too highballing, though. It was stated that in Fat Buu did destroy countless planets and stuff, hundreds of planets within a few years. So it would make more sense that Fat Buu himself is just, I guess you could say multi-solar system level, whereas Kid Buu would be even beyond that, and Goku was able to at least somewhat compare to that. So Super Saiyan 3 Goku, especially this time because he got stronger, should be able to compare to somewhere at that level of power. So his attack power should be at least, multi-solar system level, maybe like Nebula level or something like that. So the fact that he has that much power, and Beerus was able to literally block that with just a single finger, it just shows how impressive he is. Also, the fact that he's able to send Super Saiyan 3 Goku flying with a flick, and then to tap him, just flick him, and then push down his shoulder, take him out. And then after that, when Goku gets his conscience back, he starts talking to King Kai and tells him, he's like, maybe I could beat him if I fuse with Vegeta. And he's like, no, I can't even beat him that way. And that was just from a little taste of his power. That wasn't even his full power. So heavily suppressed Beerus is so powerful that not only can he take out Super Saiyan 3 Goku that easily, but even Goku thinking that, hey, maybe if I fuse with Vegeta, he can't beat him. And we saw how powerful Vegito is, especially in just in his Super Saiyan form. And I'm pretty sure he's assuming Vegito in his max power state, so like a Super Saiyan 3 Vegito, not just Super Saiyan Vegito. And even then, even with the heavily suppressed Beerus that barely was showing his power and two-tapped him, was so powerful that even Goku's like, if I fused with Vegeta and even going like Super Saiyan 3, he couldn't beat him, which is crazy, just showcasing how powerful he is. And then he comes to Earth, he starts messing with Vegeta, hiding and stuff. Vegeta tries to attack him, and he paralyzes him, dropping him down to his knees, which shows a cool power that he can basically paralyze people with just, just a stare. Then we get into the part where he gets annoyed in the part of his Boo's not sharing pudding, and he's beating the crap out of Boo. He literally picks him up and swings him around and turns him to mush. I've never seen anybody beat up Boo like this, because Boo, even Fat Boo, even though and later on, like, he would get surpassed, he would still be considered a legit threat. The fact that he's able to spin him around and destroy him and just blast him is crazy. Then he gets jumped by Piccolo, Android 18, and Tien. Piccolo at this point should be beyond imperfect cell, so like around perfect cell. Android 18, she's stronger than Super Saiyans in the Android saga, and Tien, he would definitely be stronger than Frieza at this point, Final Form 100% Frieza. So all those characters are attacking him, and he's casually dodging their attacks easily. He has no difficulty of it, and then he takes them all out just by opening his eyes. The pressure of him just releasing a bit of his energy, opening his eyes, knocks them down to the ground and depletes them of energy because they can't even do anything. Then Goten jumps in, Gotenks jumps in and tries to punch him. He tanks all those punches. He was getting punched countless times, didn't flinch one bit. None of those punches had any effects on him. And then he catches his fist with his 2 fingers, holding his fist in place, and he can't even move. And he's not even struggling, so that's how strong he is physically. And then he slaps his wrist, damaging it and hurting him and knocking him out. So he's able to easily take out Gotenks also. Their fusion does no damage to him. Then he gets into a fight with Vegeta. Vegeta has the My Bulma moment, loses it, and goes off, fights him. But, he fires a Gal Gun at him. Even though he's stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku at this point, it still does nothing to him, and he's just disappointed. Though he does state he uses 10% of his power, but I think that's kind of an inconsistency, and it doesn't really make much sense because they get way stronger, way ridiculously stronger, and he still stated to be stronger than them, so that makes no sense. And then he takes out Vegeta by literally just flicking him in his forehead too, so once again showcasing how ridiculously powerful Beerus is. Then Goku comes, turns into a Super Saiyan God form, and this is where his feats start to skyrocket to the more absurdity. He starts fighting Goku. He does a crazy technique where if he puts his hands on somebody, he can create this yellow glowing energy that explodes him. He does it a couple of times to Goku. He does it on his back. He does it on his stomach. Then he grabs him by his face, flies him all the way down to the ground, and explodes it and smashes him down. So he hits him with extra damage. He's able to do that. They get into the sky, and he produces this weird atom-looking energy attack, and it's stated to be able to destroy a planet. So he could destroy the Earth if Goku doesn't destroy it, which he does. And then he produces countless, and I mean countless, amounts of these energy attacks. So a single one of them can destroy the Earth, probably even more than just the Earth. And he's able to produce instantly countless ones of these like it's nothing. And Goku obliterates it in his godly form. Then they get further into the absurdity of the fight, into the climax where they get into the part where we see his universal level threat of power. And this is where we have the whole fist colliding 3 times, creating the universe destructive waves. Now, before I get into that, some of you guys I will not go too in depth in that because I did make a whole video on this about is Goku a universe buster, where I basically looked at this fight between Goku and Beerus, and I talked about is Goku a universe buster because of what we've seen. So I already made a whole video on that. You guys should go check it out. I had some really good details in that. So I already did that. So I'm not going to do too much on this one. I'm just going to say, yes, he is a universe buster casually, even Super Saiyan God Goku, and he's above him. So he can do that. And it's mentioned countless times. It's mentioned by Elder Kai. It's mentioned by the narrator. And it's mentioned by Whis that the universe will be destroyed. So within 3 punches, him not holding back could destroy the entire Dragon Ball universe, which is way bigger than our universe. The universe is the size of our universe, but then they have other realms connected to it that are bigger, like Otherworld. Otherworld, we don't know how big it is, but it's so big it can house a planet that's the size of the universe, which is heaven. And then they have the Grand Kai's planet above it, which is a bit smaller, but still, that's like the size of the universe, so it's like a bit smaller than the universe. And then they have a star smaller than the universe too, but still, these are around universal ranges. Then we have, I think it's Hell or Otherworld, which is basically a mirror of the universe itself, so it's universe size. So there's multiple giant universal constructs in the Dragon Ball universe. And then we have the Supreme Kai's world, which is on the outside of it, orbiting around like a moon orbiting a planet, or a planet orbiting a sun. So it's on the outside, which is even more impressive if you think about it, because for a destruction to just obliterate that universe and the other realms, it was not just going to obliterate those, it was going to obliterate the Supreme Kai's world too, so it would have reached out to that extent and wiped it out. Also, before I get into this, I did forget to mention the fact that Beerus is the one who's sealed the Elder Kai into the Z Sword. It is kind of a retcon, because he stated somebody weaker than Majin Buu and not as evil did it, and we know Beerus is not evil, and also he's way stronger than Majin Buu no matter what. So that was kind of incorrect, but let's just take this one on the face value. He put it trapped in the Z Sword, so he also has abilities to, create materials and trap people in certain materials. So that's crazy ability too. But yeah, Beerus is definitely a universe destroyer, and universe destroying in Dragon Ball is more impressive and complex, because you're not just destroying the universe, you're destroying all the other realms, especially in this case because you can see the shockwave reaching out to Supreme Kai's world. So that means it encompassed all the other universes and would have wiped them out. And also that one, like I said, it was orbiting around the macrocosm, like just like a moon. So when you think about it like on that regard, it's like an attack that doesn't just destroy the planet, but strong enough to outreach all the way to the moon and wipe that out too. So that's beyond, they'll be beyond planet level. So this means this is even beyond the macrocosm level, because then it will have to travel through that empty space that it's orbiting around and then wipe out that realm too. So this is even more impressive than a lot of people realize. So that's the case. And once again, he is heavily suppressed. He's not even using full power. So yeah, this isn't even him fully unleashed anyway, which is crazy that he's that level, universal level, beyond universal level, and he's still nowhere near, full power. So that's impressive. Also, the Supreme Kai's world is, I think they said 1/10 the size of the macrocosm, not the universe, the macrocosm. So it's very large also. And I didn't have the image for this one, but I remember there was like an interview where Toriyama talked about how there was a time where Beerus went to the Supreme Kai's world, and it was explaining the Z Sword stuff, and he got into an argument with the Supreme Kai's, and he was going to destroy their realm, but then he opted out to just putting him in the Z Sword, because it's against the rules to wipe out the heavenly dimension. So he didn't do that, but that would mean that he could casually wipe out a realm that was like 1/10 the size of the macrocosm, which is, that itself is already ridiculous. But the fact that he can do it all as whole encompassing, and probably even more, that's just the limit to that reality or realm. It's just crazy. So that's the case. And then they get into a fight, they just throw punches. So now he can throw casually universe destroying punches, more than universe destroying punches, easily. Goku surpasses that, gets stronger and stronger. Obviously, if we're doing scaling, Beerus would be above Goku. So no matter how strong Goku is, especially at this point, Beerus would always be above that. So you can take whatever impressive feats Goku can do and say, well, Beerus can do that and even more, because the fact that he should be stronger. So yeah, of Goku's universe, then he should be beyond that. So we have that, and then we have them getting into we get them into another energy attack. Goku hits him with a Kamehameha. He hits him with a big, atom-looking attack. They collide into each other, and then they basically turn into this highly dense energy thing that's kind of like a black hole thing. And this thing, if it goes set off, it will destroy the universe. So the universe would have been wiped out, and they start pushing it back and forth against each other. They're pushing it back and forth, and Goku keeps on pumping in more power, meaning he had even more power than, what he had previously, which was threatening the universe. And then he pushes past that, but Beerus wins, and it goes off. You think the universe is done? Nope. What happens is, Beerus explains is, he used 100% of his power instantly to nullify that attack to nothing. We get revealed later on that Beerus has a technique or an ability where he can nullify energy into nothing, and he's so powerful that he can nullify a universe-destroying attack into nothing. So even if there's like a character, let's say, that has universal level power, firing a universe-destroying attack, Beerus can wipe it away if he uses 100% of his power. They say 100%, but here's the thing: a lot of statements that's made by Beerus it's not. You can't really take seriously. He said Goku's his strongest opponent, his second strongest opponent he's ever faced, and Monaco is his number one, which was a lie. He said that Vegeta was able to draw 10% of his power, which we see naturally that's not true. Then he stated that he used 100% of his power multiple times, which was also not true. So he's a liar. So him having to use 100% of his power just to be able to nullify any attack 100%, I don't believe, because even in the fight he said, I'm going to use 100% against you. And he definitely did not use 100% against Goku, so that's a lie. That's a complete lie. So him saying that, wiping out an energy attack that level, he needs to go 100% power. I don't really agree with that. I think he was just making that up to make Goku feel better. So yeah, he can wipe out energies. Goku fires an energy attack, he gets it, and he catches it, stops it, and nullifies it completely. He basically he moves so fast. I think he moves so fast he creates clones, but there's multiple Beeruses. They attack Goku at once. Then Goku lunges in and tries to punch him. He grabs his fist and is able to, I think, absorb or nullify the energy that Goku's pumping in. But then he does it again, sends him flying into outer space back again. Then they get into a little clash. They throw their energy attacks again, creates this giant star attack. In the games, it's called the Sphere of Destruction. And in the movie, he naturally just used that as attack, but in this one is a combination of both. But I think that that's an attack that he can naturally just do, because when this got created and it was pushing back at Goku, he's literally flicking at it and is getting bigger and bigger, and he's pushing it away. So it's like he has control of it and he can add additional power to it. So it's most likely a technique he can just naturally do himself. People say that this is a star. It might resemble a star, but I don't think it is. And even because if it was a star, it would have had like a immense amount of gravitational pressure crushing the Earth. But even if it was, let's say, technically a star, it's not that impressive. We've seen this guy, he's beyond universe level. Him throwing star level attacks doesn't make sense. It's just way beneath what we've seen him do. So stop using that argument. So yeah, he can throw this giant thing. He's holding back. Goku destroys it in his destroys this attack in his base form with a punch. Once again, the universal level thing and scaling. He'll be way beyond that. So we have that. Then we skip to, we have the resurrection of F story arc. Beerus really doesn't do anything that much in that story to showcase his power, so I'll skip that. Then we'll get to the tournament, Universe 6 vs. 7 tournament. Once again, there wasn't much, but there was one thing. Him and Beerus meets up with Champa. They have this little thing, discussing who has the better food. They get into an argument, step up to each other on the table, start punching each other. They punch each other. Their power is so crazy that when they hit each other, this purple aura grows and grows and expands on the ground, and the ground starts to turn gray. What happens is basically they disintegrate the ground beneath them when they're throwing punches casually, and just destroys it. And Vados and Whis has to step in, telling them, hey, it's against the rules for two gods to fight. If you two fight, Universe 6 and 7 will be destroyed. Showcasing once again how powerful these characters are, that these godly beings are such a threat that if they not only can they not fight against each other because they're that much of a threat, but if they do get into a fight, it'll wipe out both of their universes just from the sheer power. Stating more of how insanely powerful these guys are. And this is them still casually doing, so they stop them. We don't see him do anything else in the Universe 6 versus 7 tournament. He doesn't really say or do anything. Then we're going to skip to the Goku Black arc. The only thing I remember him doing really in Goku Black arc was he states that when he's trying to find out Zamasu is, he tries to explain Zamasu is going to kill Gowasu. Goku says, I don't know, he seems like a good guy. He states, that he has the ability, Beerus has the ability to sense if somebody's good or not, or if they have good or bad intentions, which would be impressive. But if you think about it, Goku already had this ability all the way back in, the beginning of the Android Saga when he was fighting as Trunks. Trunks like, why don't you move? He's like, I didn't sense any evil in your heart or malice in your attack. So Goku could do that before. I guess they wiped it away, but whatever. He can do that. And then once they expose Zamasu for trying to kill Gowasu, Zamasu tries to attack Beerus. He tries to attack Goku, catches his hand, moves it to the side, and uses his most OP and unique ability, Hakai. So he Hakais him and obliterates him. And he states to Trunks that he should be wiped out of existence. He states that when a god wipes out another god, they cease to exist. And this is a little more complex, and I'll get into it. He says he ceases to exist, and then Trunks is like, I don't know, that's not how it works. We have multiverse theory. We don't go through, time getting affected like that. So he says this, and obviously that doesn't wipe out Zamasu or Goku Black. But a lot of people might be like, well, that means that this thing doesn't erase people from time. Because the whole point of the Hakai technique is it's not only supposed to erase that person, but it erases all traces of them, even their soul, and it should erase them from time itself. Now, the fact that he said a god killing another god will erase them from time itself might lead some people to say, well, this only happened because it was a god versus god, not it doesn't work against other people. But it is shown later on that the Hakai technique has that same effect on anybody. The fact that they mention the god on god stuff, it doesn't make sense because later on they just discredit it anyway. Also, talking about that alternate timeline stuff, the reason that Zamasu survived was not because Beerus was wrong. Beerus was actually right. Technically, if he uses that technique, he can wipe out anybody from existence and time, which is insanely OP. The only reason Goku Black was able to survive is because he had the time ring. The time ring, the thing that it does special is it creates a time bubble around that person, keeping them outside of time itself. Basically, you make them like kind of a paradox. So Beerus's attack can wipe them out of time and history unless they have some unless they have some type of equipment or they are a being that's a paradox, then he cannot just erase them like that. So that's the only exception to the rule, that he cannot wipe them out of existence. And we do have examples after that prove that case. But yeah, he had that power that the fact that you have a technique that can wipe out every trace of a person instantly, and their soul, and then the fact that it can wipe them out of time is crazy. The only thing that kept Zamasu alive was the time ring. If he didn't have that arc would have ended right there and then. So that's another case. We don't see him do anything else after that. We do see when Zamasu takes over the universe or the timeline, Trunks' timeline, he does pass over a little bit into their timeline. And Beerus doesn't seem nervous. Beerus feels like he's confident enough to handle him. So maybe Beerus, if he uses Hakai technique, he can wipe him out of existence to even at that level of power, which is insanely powerful. Then we skip all the way to the Tournament of Power itself. The Tournament of Power, once again, Beerus doesn't do much. Well, before the Tournament of Power, we have a little filler scene. I don't know if it'll be filler. Some people say since it's not connected to the manga, the anime, there's no such thing as filler. But there is filler scenes. It's when Arale comes and there's a ghost guy and Beerus Hakai's him, wiping him out of existence so he can even work on ghosts. And then Arale is trying to attack him. She's like, I'm a gag character, and then he's like, my ability, he's like, gag powers don't work on me. My ability can erase him out of existence. So that put people saying, oh, he's insanely powerful. But I consider that I don't take this episode serious because it doesn't really make much sense. Have you seen the Dr. Slump manga? They live in the real world, minus the Penguin Village. So that is incorrect because Dragon Ball does not have that. Also, their son in that world has a face. Dragon Ball does not have that. And the styles of that show is different than Dragon Ball. So I don't really consider that. Also, in that episode, Whis came to Earth way faster than ever before, and his excuse was like, that was faster than I've ever flown, which is just BS. I think that episode is not to be taken serious. You could use that in an argument, but I wouldn't take it too seriously, in my opinion. And then we get into, before the Tournament of Power, one of the Universe 9's god of destruction, I think his name was Cedar, he wanted to wipe out Goku and he wanted to wipe out Goku and Frieza because they were legit threats. So he sends assassins. He gives them his energy to wipe them out. The guy tricks Frieza and hits him with it, but Frieza is able to condense it and then turn it into a small ball. And then he throws it on Goku, and Goku's stuck, and Beerus just blows it off, destroying it. Some people say that this means that Frieza was stronger than Universe 9's God of Destruction and that he can handle the Hakai technique, and the Hakai technique has a limit. They're saying, the Hakai technique cannot do this. But I think that's wrong. I think there's two different types of Hakai because they do have the same description and they do have the same name, but it's different. There's Hakai, the Hakai technique, and the Hakai energy. The Hakai energy is just regular destructive energy because these gods of destruction have these other forms where they can basically transfer a different amount of Sorry for the weird jump cut. It meant it's 30-minute time limit. So yeah, he basically, like what I was saying. He people say that it's the same thing. I think it's two different things. That one, the Hakai technique. First of all, the Hakai technique is literally there's no energy ball or no physical energy. It's just a glowing light that disperses over the person's body and then just turns them demolecularizes them or whatever you want to call it, atomizes them and obliterates them. Whereas this one was an energy attack, so I think it's different. And we do see this from Toppo when he's fighting as Frieza. He uses the same attack, but it's not the Hakai technique. So I think these guys of destruction, they have this level of power where if they go into because normally they have their normal power and then they have their God destruction power. The God destruction power is if they want to wipe somebody out completely from existence or something. And we saw this with Toppo when he was using it. He was wiping out rocks and he was trying to wipe out Frieza too. But just that level of power, you can wipe out anything out of existence. And I'll get into that a little bit later towards the end of this video because there is some evidence to suggest that. But yeah, I don't think he survived the technique of if he actually came there and did Hakai like this, I think Frieza would have been obliterated out of existence. He wouldn't have been hell or heaven. He wouldn't have been in any form of timeline. So he would have been wiped out. But that energy attack is different. I think then you can it depends on how powerful you are, you can surpass it. But yeah, does not discredit, the Hakai technique and its potency. So that was incorrect. What's the thing called? Yeah, Beerus was able to casually blow it away too, so it's that easy for him to blow away that destructive energy. Also, yeah, I'll just get into that ending. But yeah, there's that. I'm trying to think of did he do anything else in the rest of the Tournament of Power? I don't think he really did. He didn't state anything impressive or do anything impressive in the Tournament of Power. He didn't do anything in the Broly movie. So now I'm going to get to the end with the manga. I did not read the manga. I did not read the more of the Granola arc, but I do remember this one part where he was training Vegeta to become, kind of like obtain God of Destruction energy, and he's telling him all you have to do is think about destroying, and he reveals to him that he's the one who suggested or told Frieza to wipe out, the Saiyan's home planet, which pissed off Vegeta, and then he gets into a fight with Vegeta, and he easily one-shots him, and he shows him his destructive energy. So not only is he so powerful, it's still so powerful that even with all those Zenkai boosts and transformations that Vegeta got, he's still not stronger than Beerus. So Beerus could easily still one-shot him, but also Beerus was showing him the destructive, the Hakai energy, and we do see this later on when Vegeta goes into his Ultra Ego form, showcasing that these gods of destruction have the regular level of power, and then when they have their God of destruction power, where they're beyond anything and they can just wipe out stuff out of existence. So it's even more impressive than a lot of people might think. So I think normally he cannot just wipe people out of existence unless he goes into the state. So that's different, unless he uses the Hakai technique. So that's different. He has another level of power. That I think would be more of when we see Goku, Beerus' 100%. Because people are like, what is his 100%? I think until he starts using that Hakai energy, he's not going anywhere near his full power. Until he starts tapping into that energy, like let's say against Goku, then he's not going all out because he's holding back another extreme reserve of power, which is just showcase how ridiculous he is. So that's basically for all the stuff that happened there. I will talk about a couple of stuff after. Those were all the feats I could find throughout the anime. I used a little bit of the manga because, there's additional stuff, and it's to explain some stuff because some stuff people just misconstrued or don't understand very well. So I felt like that was necessary. But yeah, so Beerus' strength, it's hard to categorize because of a couple reasons. One, we don't have that many scenes with him doing too many feats, but when we do, it's crazy. Second of all, we don't have enough of an explanation on him. Third of all, we haven't seen his full power or full potential, so we don't know how powerful he is. Just like with, Saitama, it's hard to say how powerful he is because we haven't seen his full power. It's the same thing with Beerus, but we can gauge him based off of a couple of things. One, the feats that he did while he was suppressed, showcasing that he can do those barely even trying, and then he has even more power than that. We just don't know to how much of an extent, and we could also use it as the fact that because a lot of people were arguing throughout the series that, Goku surpassed him at this point, he surpassed him at this point, he surpassed him when he beat Jiren, because Jiren is supposed to be the strong gods of destruction. He wasn't said to be stronger than all of them, only some of them. But they're saying he's this, he's that. But then an interview not too long ago came out, and it was stated that, nope, Goku's not surpassed Beerus. There's 3 people that are still stronger than him. Broly, Whis, and Beerus. Beerus is definitely stronger than him. So Beerus is still stronger than Goku, and that is even more impressive because now all you have to do is, if you want to find out how ridiculously powerful he is go through all the amazing feats or crazy feats that Goku did throughout Dragon Ball Super. All he was able to accomplish with his different forms of power, how much of how much his power multiplied with Zenkai Boost, with Kaioken, with these other forms, and with Master Ultra Instinct. And Beerus is still above that, showcasing that even with all of Goku's ridiculous feat, Beerus is still above him and the enemies that he's faced. So Beerus is still ridiculously powerful. How powerful is he? Well, I think he's casually Dragon Ball level universe busting, which is beyond our universe. So that would make him Dragon Ball like macrocosm level in. I would put him at beyond macrocosm level, heavily suppressed. Even in a heavily suppressed state, he could easily wipe out the Dragon Ball universe, which would be times multiple universes easily. This does not mean that this is his max limit. This is just what we've been shown from him. We know he can do more than that. So when it comes to his speed, I would put him at billions to even quintillions of times the speed of light, due to the fact that he's able to move throughout the universe. Yes, Whis, he uses him, but it's because Beerus is lazy and Whis just moves faster. But we don't know how much faster Whis is compared to Beerus, but we do know Beerus is at least somewhat comparable. So Beerus would be at least hundreds of billions to trillions of quintillion times the speed of, maybe more than hundreds of billions, trillions to quintillion times the speed of light, especially since he can fight as fast as the shockwaves are moving. So Beerus' speed is hundreds of trillions to quintillions times the speed of light. His destructive capabilities is, multiple times the universe. Like Screwtax says 9-time universe. I don't know if that's true, but if we were going by that, basically that would mean that Beerus heavily suppressed and casually fighting, not even going all out, would be 9 times universe level of destructive power. And especially when you do, because Goku could do that, and if you multiply the math of how much Goku gets stronger, Beerus can do even that above that. We just don't know to what extent, like I said. So I would put Beerus's for right now, not seeing his full potential, I'll put it at his lower end. Him being beyond universe level is definitely, Beerus is beyond universe level and low end, and durability also, because he's able to tank punches that can destroy universes and attacks that can take it. Though I do think his attack potency would be higher than that. So he can his physical attacks are beyond universe level or macrocosm level. His energy attacks are even beyond that, and his durability is somewhere around that level, so universal levels. And this is heavily suppressed. He has also a technique where he can raise somebody completely, their body, spirit, and out of the timeline completely. So he can do that. He can do that, and he has a lot of other hacks abilities. He can selectively target stuff. He can completely nullify universe-destroying attacks into nothing. So even if there's a character that can use universal level attacks or beyond that, he can nullify that if he's actually putting some effort into it. He also has another category of power where he doesn't even need to use the Hakai technique. He uses Hakai energy, where he destroys everything and it obliterates everything completely. There's nothing left. He wipes everything out without a trace when he uses his full energy power. And he's above Broly, he's above Jiren, he's above Goku, he's above Vegeta. So any of those feats that you see from those characters, he can do that even more. So yeah, we don't know how powerful Beerus is. We might not ever know, but he is ridiculously powerful, and this is him just casually. Most of the times he's so powerful that they don't even use him. I think he's the best used character when it comes to being OP. But yeah, he has a lot of impressive feats. If you guys want to ever use any of these feats in debates, you can use it. I think these are some good feats and argumentative points you can use for him. But just know, once again, this is not him at his max. This is him barely fully going. So he's even more impressive than this, which is just crazy to think about. So yeah, Beerus is beyond universe level. He's faster. He's many times faster than speed of light. He's trillions upon quintillions faster than speed of light. Way more than universe level destructive with physical energy, even durability. He's very powerful. He has, wiping out abilities of that portion. I also don't think reality warping would work on him. And if you want to go even more crazy, you can say that gag characters with ridiculous feats like Toon Force can't even really affect him, and he's above that. So yeah, Beerus is really powerful, and that's crazy, because to be shown that powerful and with that little amount of showing. Also, if you want to go further, I didn't do it because I felt like it was too much. Just use all the feats from the other characters, the really powerful characters, and just know Beerus is above them, besides, Grand Priest or whatever. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little synopsis. After I'm done, editing it and getting it out, I'm gonna start right on to the Whis one. The Whis one is gonna have even less examples, so it'll probably be shorter, and there'll be a lot more speculation. But just know, if Beerus can, once again, if he can do this stuff, if heavily suppressed, then Whis can easily do those stuff, no difficulty. So that showcases how ridiculously powerful Whis should be. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you got gained some knowledge that you can use. So bye.